Welcome in, everybody. And before I get into it, go blue, baby. Yes, sir.
Blue.
We did it. The Wolverines took down the Buckeyes. Woo! But outside of that, this is the Honolulu Blues Show. And as always, I'm your host, Adam Stark. We got Nick Faber and Julius Porter here for an excellent episode. Today, we took a little Thanksgiving Day week break or whatever. Not a whole lot to talk about for the Lions. I mean, we had the Tim Boyle Browns game that we will dab into a bit. But all in all, Julius, my man, how you feeling? How are you feeling?
Listen, Thanksgiving, Thursday, the Lions, I knew they were going to lose the whole game. I knew they were going to lose from the beginning, even when they had the lead, even when Chicago looked like they were against the ropes. I'm like, the Lions are going to lose. And so when they did lose, I felt nothing. I was just focused on Michigan. I was focused on Ohio State immediately. I was focused on them. And that took my attention away from the Lions momentarily. I still read up on injuries, what they're doing, what Coach Campbell was saying. But once Saturday got here, once Michigan, I experienced the greatest Michigan moment of my life, of my adult life. Yeah, on Saturday. That was the greatest Michigan moment of my adult life. I've been saying go blue forever, and it's finally validated. And the Lions, they just happen to play the Vikings on next Sunday, and that's all it is. Go blue, beat Iowa, CFP. I know this is not the Amazing Blues show. I understand that. This is Honolulu Blues, but go blue.
Hey, love it, Julius. I love it. And you'll hear the same spiel from me, but I will save it. But for all you Michigan fans out there, go blue, baby. We are a football school. We're back. And it's nice because the basketball team is kind of struggling right now, in which we got all this loaded talent and Juwan Howard. And now Michigan football finally getting back on track, finally beating Ohio State when they're ranked, because the one win we had the last 20 years, maybe it was 15 years, was with the Brady Hoke win when Ohio State had just blown up after the Jim Tressel, Terrell Pryor scandals, and Michigan was ranked, Ohio State was unranked. We were supposed to win that game, and we did. But now, oh man, this win was great. But like Julie said, it's a Lions show. So Nick, I see you repping the Detroit Red Wings. Give me some Red Wings love. You got any updates on the boys? How have they been doing lately?
Let's go Wings. I am repping Wings today. I'm full Wings though. In the playoff hunt, 4th in the division, which gets us in the playoffs, but we're fighting for the wild card. We're right on the cusp of it. Looking good. I feel like we're years ahead than where we should be. I feel like we're where we thought the Pistons would be, who can't win more than 3 games. However, we played close with the Lakers yesterday. Was a good game. It went late. If anyone stayed up to watch it, was a fun game. Red Wings are looking good, though. I think they're playing tonight, or they're playing tomorrow. They're playing.
Yeah, they do play tonight. I don't know against who, but I do remember seeing them atop of the.
I just wear the Wings, whether they're playing or not. Let's go Wings. I can't wear the blue. Those shout out blue. That's amazing. And I knew this would. So I don't even remember. Michigan State has beat Ohio State once, right? That I can remember. They probably beat them more, but one that I remember. And the one time they beat them, it was a foot of snow coming down. It was on my birthday, actually, and it was a foot of snow. And Michigan and they ran it they didn't run it with Zeke a lot. They should have, but they didn't. Regardless, Michigan State ends up winning. The kicker's running around like this. He's doing a windmill.
Yeah.
And it was the year we made it to the playoffs. It was 26, so it must have been 2016 or whatever that was. It was a great year. Great time. And so as soon as that snow was falling, I was in Battle Creek at the time, right? And I'm looking outside and it's just snowing. And I'm watching College Game Day and it's just snowing. And I'm like, this is it. If Michigan's gonna win, they need to even the playing field. And I know that sounds harsh, especially after they just won. Maybe they didn't need to. Maybe they never even needed to. Maybe they would have won on turf in a dome. But in my opinion, I was you saw that snow falling, and it was Michigan's got a shot right now. Michigan has a crazy shot, though, but I still don't believe it. There's no way they're going to do it. and 3 hours later, they were screaming. And to see the rejuvenation in like Michigan football Twitter was so fun. Everyone was just screaming from the rooftops. State fans were congratulating them. It was just an epic victory, an epic Saturday to top off a great weekend, a great holiday weekend. I ate a ton of turkey, a ton of mashed potatoes, a ton of stuffing, had a ton of beer. It was a great holiday weekend. If only the Lions could have pulled it out.
Yeah,
we'll get to that.
It seems to be the telltale of every week. If only the Lions could have won this weekend, would have been perfect. But we are winless as of this.
As always.
As always.
Per usual.
We did have a tie a few weeks ago, which was nice. We've been kind of like, we improved with the tie, and now we're kind of like back on idle. And why I say idle is because this is kind of the Lions team I felt we should have had all year. But this Lions team, I feel like maybe could win a game or two earlier in the year. I feel like we're a little bit more established-ish. I don't know. But we did have some bad news. DeAndre Swift went down with a shoulder injury. It's looking like it's a shoulder sprain. Dan Campbell did not sound optimistic at all when he was being interviewed about Swift. He kind of said it's just day-to-day as of right now. They don't know when he'll be back. And by the looks and sound of it, I would not be surprised if we saw Swift go on IR in the next couple of days, or if he was just shut down for the rest of the season. And that's coming off the case that we heard Campbell say he doesn't want to get Swift a ton of carries because he's been pressured by the media and Lions fans that, we got to get Swift these 33 carries. We saw he could do it. But Campbell wants to hold the legs, keep Swift fresh. And I think that belief is going to lead to a Swift IR. I don't know what word I'm looking for. Designation. Yes.
Gotcha. And I agree with that. That's what we should do. Winning a game is not more important than DeAndre Swift's future as a Detroit Lion. Unfortunately, if Dan can't like as good as Swift is, Dan Campbell's just gonna have to. He's gonna have to show us how good of a coach he can be. Next man up, we got Jay Will, who Dan Campbell loves, and we got Jamar Jefferson, and we got the guy's name that I can never pronounce. Who I believe he was the safety. Wait, what was it?
Godwin. It's like Ikwebuike. I don't know.
You're so much better than I am. You're so much more prepared than I am.
I call him Godwin.
Yeah, I'm just gonna have to start calling him Godwin. Yeah, exactly. So we got those next man up. It's fun. That stinks for Swift, but I really do love Jamar Jefferson. I think he's a very undervalued draft pick out of the Quinn Trisha era, who actually could end up being very, very, very talented. He's fast, so I like him. It's an opportunity to see these young guys. Again, we're not really making the playoffs, obviously, and I don't even know if we're going to win a game. So let's just see what we got.
Yeah, and ironically, speaking about kind of running backs that could get their shot, this kind of brings up a random little side tangent. I was looking into the 2020 draft class, and it is insanely loaded. And I'm bringing this up because we took Jason Huntley the same round we took Quintez Cephas, who Cephas has been decent besides the injury, but it was obviously we were looking for a wide receiver, and we took Jason Huntley one pick in front of Darnell Mooney. And if we could have had Darnell Mooney as that fifth rounder in which we cut Jason Huntley for nothing, oh man, that would have been a killer draft in which we did kind of have a decent 2020 draft. We got Okora, Amani Oruwariye, and there's a couple of these guys, Pensanini, Okuda, you never know what he could be. So all in all, that 2020 draft, not terrible. No. But if we're moving on, 2021 draft, iffy, whatever you want to call him. Ifeatu Melifonwu, hopefully pronounce that right, is activated back on the squad. He's getting practice reps in, so hopefully we'll be able to see him in this Vikings game. If he returns, that will be a nice addition to our already beaten up secondary, but looking decent for what we've got. So it's nice to see some players are coming back. And then Matthew Stafford and the Rams, ironically, not just Stafford helping out the Lions, but our good old friends Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay took down the Staffords, the Rams, and
basically the Staffords. I don't know if there's a difference.
Yeah, took down the Rams and helped our draft pick move from 27 all the way up to 23, which is a drastic move. And that just goes to show how much one game can move a draft pick, even if, the Rams make the playoffs or not. All those losses, they will pile up and help. So we'll take it.
I'll take all the Rams L's, all of them, because I want the first overall pick and I want the 14th overall pick. I don't want the 30th or the 31st where we've been getting mocked by the whole news media because people think the Rams going to the Super Bowl. Hell no. Go on a losing streak. How many wins they got? 7, 8?
The Rams, they are 7-4.
One win against the winning opponent. It was Tom Brady.
Sounds very Stafford-ish. I'm not going to lie. And if they want to go 7-10, I'm cool with that. I'll take the first overall pick and the 12th overall pick.
It also sounds very Staffordish, as we heard a report come out a couple days ago. Stafford has ankle pain, knee pain, thigh
Arizona
pain, elbow
against
pain.
Seattle, who's fighting for a playoff spot.
Listen, Sean McVay got his full reputation on the line, right? He sold the soul of the Rams, every asset they had. He sold this whole draft for Matthew Stafford, Odell Beckham, and Von Miller. If they don't make the playoffs or if they don't go on a playoff run, Sean McVay failed.
This is actually insane. Their only wins, I know we're talking about the Rams a little bit too much, but their only good wins are against the Bucs, I guess the Colts, and that's it. They beat the Giants, bad team, Lions, bad team, Texans, bad team, the Seahawks, who didn't have Russell Wilson for a second half, bad team, and the Bears, bad team.
And the Colts, when they beat them, they were 1-3 when they beat them.
All right, so here's the Rams' final 6 games. They go Jaguars, Cardinals, Seahawks, Vikings, Ravens, 49ers. Do you guys think there's a percentage? What percentage do they not make the playoffs? I think it's honestly like a 40-60.
0.
0? You think it's wow? No, I don't know.
Right
man.
now, if the Washington Redskins win tonight and they get to 5-6, they're in the playoffs. There's no way the Rams don't make the playoffs and the Redskins.
But what if Seattle?
This is the Rams' problem. Let me tell y'all what the Rams' problem is. The Rams' problem is the 49ers, okay, and the Cardinals. That's who the Rams' problem is. There's no way 3 NFC West teams is getting in unless the Rams win 10 games or not.
Didn't it happen last year, something like that? I'm almost positive.
I'm not sure.
No, there's
but
the Cardinals.
They would have to give the Rams would have to at least 9 or 10 wins to get in the playoffs, and maybe they don't.
I'm hoping this yellow, and they listen to us talking about the Rams. They're like, "This must be a Rams podcast."
This must be. Let me jump off of this. I'm on the wrong channel.
Yeah. Also, right. By the way, the Rams' problem isn't the Cardinals or the Niners. It's Matthew Stafford. Stafford can't beat a good team.
Yeah,
it's been that way for 12 years. With the definition of insanity is thinking something will be different over and over. Dude, he just can't do it. He's not that good. He's got chronic back pain. Same thing since 2016. This isn't news to anybody. This isn't no. Stafford? Back pain? Losing to good teams? Stafford? No, don't believe it. This ain't new news. This is the same thing. That's their problem. I don't care who's coaching Matthew Stafford. I hope he goes out there and proves me wrong to a degree because I do love the guy as much as it would hurt our draft pick. He just won't though. This is it. This is who he is. This is why we moved on. It is okay to
looking like a real slam dunk though for the trade. I will say our Rams trade for Stafford. That's looking like a slam dunk for us. So far so good. Let's rewind a week-ish ago, 10 days more or less. The Browns game. Tim Boyle getting his first start over David Blau. I just don't even know what's going on with David Blau. The regime just hates him, I guess. I'm convinced they hate him. I don't know what he did. He must have slept with Mrs. Campbell or I don't know. But the Lions dropped 13-10 to the Browns, in which we could have easily won this game, but we definitely could have won this game. And honestly, the biggest controversy, I guess we'll talk about, is the 4th and 1 call. 10 minutes-ish left in the game. The Lions and Amani Warrior get an interception. We're down 7-13, and we get down to the Browns' 25-yard line, 4th and 1, and we take the field goal. So we end up losing the game 10-13, and that ended up being the nail in the coffin. So do you guys think that should have just kept this aggressive mindset that we've had this entire season, try to get this 4th and 1, go up 14-13, or maybe we could, beat this bad Browns team in which they were not looking good this second half.
We're like 3 for 45 on 4th down. So no, you do not need to go for that. Get that field goal. Trust your defense, who has held them to 13 points. Ultimately, it didn't happen. Whatever. I at that point in life, I was okay with Dan Campbell and very okay with that call. However, things to foreshadow, things changed come Turkey Day.
Yeah, it's for me. I was okay with it at the moment, but obviously hindsight 2020, you're like, why didn't we go for it and get the touchdown? We would have won 14-13. But honestly, if we force overtime with the Browns, I think there's a decent chance we could have beat them in overtime. I mean, Boyle wasn't playing atrocious. He had that one awful interception where he just stared down the dude. But other than that, they were playing around Tim Boyle, and Swift was having a great game. The defense was, making Baker struggle. And it just seemed like that was the turning point. So, Julius, do you think we should have went for this, or do you think this was kind of just take the field goal, keep seeing what we got?
I would have preferred we went for it because our offense is so abysmal. So if we're in that kind of late game situation, if we would have took the lead in that game, our defense could have possibly held off, which they did end up holding off, and we would have won. So I think he trusted his offense too much, thinking since Swift was going off, he might go off one more drive. It didn't happen. The defense, we all know that, they didn't hold. I mean, I would have went for it. I don't know. But the Browns game reminded me of the Bears game. Literally, it did. Just an offense that, the passing offense, it's really hard to watch if you're a Lions fan because we've been watching explosion from Matthew Stafford for the last decade plus of our lives. And now we're seeing the worst passing offense since like my JV year of high school. So, I would have went for it. Why not? Why not? Get a win. We should already have a win. We could possibly have 2 or 3. Get a win. Go for it.
Yeah, I agree. I think we should have just kept going for it. I know we haven't been the best on 4th down, but it seemed like we did have a bit of momentum on that drive. We got the interception, and 4th and 3, 4th and 4. Okay, I get it. But 4th and 1, I think we could have got a yard, but I don't know. You never know. Moving on, next game we have short week taking on the Bears. Another tough loss, field goal loss. We lose 16-14 to a game-winning field goal yet again. It looked phenomenal, boys. The first drive, we come out firing. Goff looks great. 39-yard touchdown to Josh Reynolds. This is the breakout game. This is why we got him. Goff is finally looking like that quarterback we want. And then it just went south. Like everything just flipped. We had no offense, nothing going. And the Bears kind of just gained some momentum. So, guys, got any thoughts on this? First touchdown, Lions go up 7-0. Were you feeling like we're going to stomp them? Or was this a typical, here we go, Lions score first, we're about to choke this game?
We're about to choke this game. I was thinking that, like I said in the beginning of the show, I was watching the Lions game on Thanksgiving, and I decided to do other things while I watch it. Usually most weeks, I just sit down, focus on the details of the game. This time, I was like in the kitchen helping out with Thanksgiving and moving around while watching the game. And family and friends around me, and they're also kind of doing the same thing. And we were all saying to each other, they're going to lose the whole game. Even when they had the lead, even when it was close, they're going to lose. The interior of our offensive line is dealing with some injuries. It showed. And with the pass rush that the Bears were kind of able to get, that was enough to throw our offense off. Once DeAndre Swift went down, we kind of lost that aspect. TJ Hockenson got the touchdown. That was cool because you never see that nowadays. But On our defensively for us, I think we played pretty good. We played good enough to win, just like we always. Our defense always plays like that, and it's good to see. I mean, but we're missing one key component, and that's a pass rush, sacks. We just don't bring it enough, and that's what we saw in the last drive when we couldn't hold them, we couldn't get the stop to win, and then I kind of just knew it the whole game, man. I kind of knew it.
Yeah. When was the last time we ever thought the Lions were going to go out and dominate a team and never look back? Like, I don't even remember having that thought ever in my life. Like, it always seemed like if we were going to win, we'd have to come from behind. Or if we did have a lead, we'd have to play really hard in the bottom of in the fourth quarter to like contain that victory. I don't remember that last time. We go up 7-0. All I think about is, dang, Jared Goff is so bad. Every single throw he threw, DeAndre Swift on third down, DeAndre Swift had to literally jump up, tip that ball to himself, and catch it. Wide open in the flat, 3rd and 1, and had to make a spectacular catch to keep it going. Jared Goff's pass to Josh Reynolds was worse than a Tim Tebow throw at night with his eyes closed. And I swear to God, Josh Reynolds, the only reason we brought him in isn't because he's a talented player, but because he knows how to catch these ducks from freaking Jared Goff. These are some Oregon Ducks, and I'm not talking about Penei Sewell. I'm talking about Jared Goff's throws. They're terrible. They're terrible. It is embarrassing. Thank God Josh Reynolds catch it. Thank God TJ Hawkinson can catch a football thrown from anyone. So, like, we at least were able to score a couple touchdowns this game, but So first drive, I'm most definitely not thinking we're gonna like go out and just smack the Bears. I'm just thankful that we scored a touchdown. I'm thankful for my family, and I'm thankful the Lions didn't get shut out on Thanksgiving. Like, thank God. All right, let's. Jared Goff he's so terrible. He's a judge of don't judge the book by its cover type of quarterback, especially after today, on Thursday, 21-26, I think he was
25.
25.
Best start to a Thanksgiving Day game since 1991 Jim Kelly, or maybe 1995 Jim Kelly.
Listen, that's 90% checkdowns, okay? That's 90% checkdowns. Jared Goff is abysmal. I think Tim Boyle has more zip and a little bit more medium field accuracy than Jared Goff.
The only thing Jared Goff has with Tim Boyle is the QB smarts. I think he has a little bit more QB smarts, not pocket awareness.
He's smarter than Tim Boyle. You're right, but Tim Boyle's arm is liver than Jared Goff's. I swear it is. Yeah. You saw the zip in the Browns game that you didn't see from Jared Goff against the Bears.
Goff still has to be dealing with that oblique strain.
Yeah,
he has to be.
Yeah, I'm sure.
That first, what was like a 25-yard throw or 20-yard throw to Reynolds. That ball was like, that thing was wobbling.
Reynolds was so open that it was okay. Yeah. The TJ Hawkinson catch, Hawkinson ran an amazing route to the corner. I mean, Jared Goff couldn't mess it up as long as he had a little bit of time. If you don't give Jared Goff time, you don't have a quarterback. You might as well run it.
Tried to mess it up too. Hawk had to go sliding in and catch it. It didn't, could have just hit him right in the pants, but instead he had to go freaking do this.
If Jared Goff get 1% pressure on him, if he feel it in his brain just a tiny bit, it's going to be a botched play or a check down, guaranteed. Because he's just paranoid. He's the most paranoid quarterback in the pocket I've ever seen.
I will say, if Goff honestly played like this every single game, I think we would have one win. He didn't play a good game, but it was like a Cade McNamara game where he just didn't turn it over, checked it down, dinked and dunked it, and ended up losing the game. But at the end, the ball wasn't in his hands. It was in the defense's hands. So
Stop it.
Cade McNamara is a better quarterback than Jared Goff. I promise on my life he is. What we saw from him in Ohio State, I would take that every single game than what I see from Jared Goff against the Bears, which was one of his decent games that we could have won with. Jared Goff is abysmal. I swear he is. He cannot start next year.
I guarantee on the Ohio State, Dwayne Haskins would be a better quarterback than Jared Goff for the Lions right now. Also, to Adam's point, no, you can't score 14 points and win in the NFL. Like, what game do you think we're going to win when Jared Goff plays like that? Like, he went 21 for 25, but he scored 14 points. So what game are we going to go out there and win? I haven't seen a game where the Lions could hold a team under 14. Like if maybe he would have went and scored 21 points and we would have won that game, we would have won the Baltimore game, we would have won the Minnesota game, we would have won these games. It's a whole different story. We have seen this from Jared Goff. We have seen him score 14 points over and over and over and over and over and over. In fact, I'm pretty sure the only time we've seen him score more than 14 points was in the first game and then the first half of Green Bay. And since then, I'm pretty sure he only has, or he had 3 passing touchdowns for like 9 weeks going into last week. He threw 2. We got 14 points. There is no way we can win a football game with Jared Goff. You can't score 14 and win. You cannot do it.
All right, Nick, you have completely sold me on that. The Lions, if we had scored 20 points in every game this season, we'd be 6-5. If we scored 25 points, we'd be 7-4. So,
oh my God, you hear that? You know what that tells you? You know what that tells you? It tells you that we have pieces in place to have a winning football team. What are we missing though? We're missing a quarterback. And I will go so far to say our wide receiver core we got some young pieces. Cephas, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Khalif Raymond, they're all guys you could use, but we need a true number one beast and a quarterback. Though pretty much, and I bet our team, we have 7 or 8 wins. The same thing you're saying. It's crazy that stat exists for the 10-1 Lions.
We have 5 losses and 1 tie. And in those 5 losses and 1 tie, there's a point differential of 8 points.
That's what I've been trying to say. And we've held teams for the last 3 weeks to an average of 15 points a game. 15 points a game in the last 3 weeks. I don't think it's Dan Campbell. I think it's Jared Goff. I don't even think it's Anthony Lynn. I just don't think Mark Brunell, Anthony Lynn, Dan Campbell, whoever wants to call these plays, knows how to call plays with the quarterback as bad as Jared Goff. They're like used to a quarterback that is like somewhat intelligent. Like Dan Campbell, I guarantee he took over play calling not because he thought Anthony Lynn was doing a bad job, but because he felt like he could do a better job at like talking to Jared Goff, as my cat comes in, talking to Jared Goff for those 15 seconds or for those 25 seconds in the helmet. Like it's so bad. It's so bad. Jared Goff is so bad. And our team is so good. It's overperforming. If we had a competent quarterback, and I'm not trying to say Stafford, but even if we had Cam Newton, we would have 4 or 5 wins and we would be in the playoffs. If we were 6-5, you Adam, what did you say? If we scored 20 points in every game,
20 points in every game, we'd have 6 wins. 25 points gives us 7 wins.
6-5 is good enough for
a wild card.
6
We're in the playoffs.
In the NFC.
Playoffs.
20 points a game.
This offseason shouldn't be hard for Brad Holmes.
Sign Nick Faber as quarterback. I'll do that.
Yeah. So see now
Brad.
We're tied to Goff again. Do you guys think we should just eat the money, cut him, and just I don't want to deal with this no more. I don't want the pressure of us having to pay all that money and the thought of us
either eat the money or he a backup next in 2022. Point blank, he is not our starter next year.
Yeah,
either get a young guy, sign somebody else if you want to bridge one more year because you don't like the prospects. I don't care. Jared Goff not starting week 1.
All right, so my buddy's texted me and he's giving me some crap saying he's like I don't know. He's like your boy's he's crazy for saying Goff's a worse quarterback than Tim Boyle. My other buddy, Jesse, comes in. He goes, I don't know, man. He's not Goffle.
He's not Goffle.
Listen, go back and watch the Browns game. Tim Boyle, I understand, even with people like the Joe Kai's college career, what was he? He threw more picks than interceptions. He threw more interceptions than touchdowns.
15 interceptions and 1 touchdown.
Those are his college stats. He was the backup in Green Bay. It's a reason he's in the NFL because he has a little lightning in his arm
and
that I don't see from Jared Goff.
You don't have to defend yourself, bro. My grandma's better than Jared Goff, dude. So I don't know what
trash. I promise.
Everyone's better than
Yeah,
Jared.
you know, I mean, granted, Tim Boyle didn't have the best outing, but his first start as an NFL quarterback.
Benjamin trading
This
for
is an
Tua.
interesting question.
Y'all want to trade for Tua? Do we want to trade for Tua? That's a great question, Ben.
No. Like, I would rather take my chances on Ritter, on Coral, on Willis. Like, I like some of these quarterbacks coming out, and everyone's like, man, there's so many things I want to say. So first and foremost, everyone's like, quarterbacks suck this year. Don't get a quarterback. The same people were like, Josh Allen is a terrible quarterback. He's embarrassing. The same people were like, Mac Jones is the worst quarterback to ever come across the planet Earth. How could everyone fathom thinking about taking him? Like, calm down, dude. Just because he's not a Trevor Lawrence or an Andrew Luck like prospect doesn't mean he can't be a solid NFL quarterback. So I like some of these quarterbacks coming out. Also, a lot of people come at the hate of, well, Jared Goff is automatically our starter next year. We're paying him $33 million. He's automatically the starter. Like, you see that constantly on Twitter. Constantly.
Well,
not even just on Twitter, but like over like all the social media platforms. You see that everywhere. You don't just like, man, I will give $33 million dead cap, just like I am with Matthew Stafford right now, just to not have Jared Goff on my team. Like, he's as bad as Brock Osweiler. When they like traded $44 million for like a 6th rounder just to get him off of their cap room, I would do that for Goff. I would trade him for a 6th rounder right now. I would trade him for a 7th rounder. I would trade him for some beef jerky. I would trade him for some Altoids. Like, I'll get him out of here for anything. He's so bad. Dude.
Listen, I take Joey Harrington. I take Dan Orlovsky. I'll take John Kitna. I take John Kitna in a heartbeat over Jared Goff.
Man.
I even go so far as to take Charlie Batch over Jared Goff. I promise you, Jared Goff is trash.
Can I bring up real quick? Can I just say, you brought up John Kitna, Julius, right? Did you know his son is about to be like...
His son's good.
His son's good. He's a college football player. I can't remember where, but he's good.
I want to say he was like a 3 or 4 star.
Hey, John Kitna was an average quarterback, maybe even above average when he had Roy Williams, and I even think those are the Dan Campbell years. John Kitna was
Chad Henne before Chad Henne.
John Kitna was decent. He was one of the best backup quarterbacks.
Yards in like 2 consecutive seasons. Like,
he was the best backup quarterback in the league. And when he was in Cincinnati, kind of like Sean Hill when he came here. Sean Hill, I take Sean Hill in a heartbeat over Jared Goff.
Bro.
Jared Goff is in the depths of Lions quarterbackdom. Okay, in the history of this franchise, he is in the depths of starting quarterbacks. He ranks like at least in the bottom 30.
Oh, he's bad, dude. He's bad. So if he doesn't win a game for Detroit, he's the worst.
Run him out of town. Run him out of town. Cut him.
Harrington.
Harrington won a game.
Harrington had a little lightning in his arm, just like Tim Boyle. But
all these guys won a game except for Dante Culpepper.
We're gonna put up a
the only Lion not to win a game. Probably.
Jared Goff, if he don't win a game, you have to cut him.
Yeah,
I think it's simple as that. Yeah, and it kind of sucks too, but you know. You just got to. I mean, at this point, I'd rather go take a shot on Josh Rosen. So, it's tough right now being a Lions and Goff fan. But yeah, the Lions defense has been doing pretty dang good as of like the last 8 or so games. We have the only games we've really blown a tire on. The Eagles game, we let up 44, and the Bengals game, we let up 34. And I guess the Rams.
Both we were in like 10 to 13 points at halftime. We just couldn't score points, and so our defense just couldn't sustain.
Our defense don't get a lot of pass rush, like I mentioned earlier in the show. So we don't get a lot of turnovers as far as fumbles and switching the field, or defensive scoring. We don't get like pick sixes and stuff either. So our defense is bend, don't break, and they have not been breaking.
Yeah, and I will say I think this is just a small testament of just what we got in our defense and Aaron Glenn. And I think he's a great defensive coordinator. I think he's done an excellent job, minus that little 2 timeout situation we had that we'll get to in a minute. But other than that, Aaron Glenn has done great with Amani Ore, Jerry Jacobs, all the secondary. Tracy Walker. Yeah, it's been good. You've definitely been able to see his impact. So there's some good things.
Great play calling on his end. Again, we've held defenses to 15 points. We've apparently, and I didn't even know this.
We held the Ravens to 19 points, the Vikings to 19 points, the Steelers aren't that good, but the Browns to 13. You know, a lot of anytime you hold a team under 20 points,
6 teams under 20 points.
Exactly,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't.
Aaron Glenn is retainable,
but yeah, it's great. And then look at the secondary. Amani, 5 interceptions this year, most picks by a Penn State alum in NFL history. History. Every single cornerback that Joe Paterno, that anyone ever came out of Penn State, Amani Oruwariye, a 5th rounder, picked by Quintricia, has the most. It's unbelievable. I've loved him since day one. I love his work ethic. I love his attitude. I love his game. He is a ball hawk. I think he can be a number 1 cornerback in Island. He kind of is an island right now, except for some of those really tough games when like our offense just doesn't sustain, where you just like can't put that on a cornerback right there. But Amani is awesome. Jerry Jacobs playing out of his mind. As soon as the Lions sign him as an undrafted free agent, I'm going to go back and find it. But I tweeted out the very first day, I said, watch out for this dude. He's going to be a beast. He is. Great job, Aaron Glenn.
Amani has been going off 5 interceptions. I mean, that should be Pro Bowl contention. And I think we all know what's going to happen. Amani's not going to get the Pro Bowl. He's going to get snubbed. And if he does make it, it'll be based off of some injuries, some Super Bowl players, some guys opting out, whatever. But Amani definitely deserves to be a Pro Bowler, or at least, in contention for it. But another player that had a big play, Levi Onwuzurike, had his first career sack in the NFL, and finally a big one. And yes, finally, but it was I forget when the sack came, but it was like 3rd or 4th quarter, and it was I want to say forced like a 3rd and like 15 or something. So it was a pretty impactful sack that he had. I gotta imagine this will get his confidence going a little bit. So do you guys expect Levi to maybe pick it up a bit and be the 2nd round talent, or have you guys just seen enough where you're worrying a little bit?
I need to see more sacks from Levi. And Alan McNeil, he's had a solid rookie season, but they haven't had those major rookie impacts that we kind of hope for. Levi had an injury early on, and he slowly got back into the snap count. Alan McNeil has been pretty steady as our nose tackle, but the talent surrounding him has been coming and going, and seems like he's not fully utilizing his strengths. They're both growing. I'm okay with both of them. I don't think neither of them are a bust. It was great to see Levi get that sack. I mean, that's what we wanted when we drafted this guy in the 2nd round. This tenacity, pass rushing, and run defending, getting in the backfield, and I think we're starting to see more of that. So I'm encouraged. There's a lot of youth on our defense. You guys were talking about the secondary, along with the linebackers, with Derek Barnes and Anthony Pittman, and the defensive line guys, Julian Okwara as well on the edge. There's a lot of youth that's growing before our eyes that Aaron Glenn can take with him into the following seasons and add to. So that's good to see. The defense as a whole, I'm just pleased with, even though the team has no wins.
I 100% agree. And it's great to see Levi get that. And it's great to see and Aleem McNeil had a great game, in my opinion. They both played about 33% of the game, 33% of snaps. Aleem and Levi are the future of the interior of this defensive line. We need them to be solid. We have been doing nothing but talking up our defense. Sometimes sacks doesn't always correlate with great play. These guys have been playing well at their position enough to hold these guys and these rushing attacks down that we've seen. Nick Chubb came in against us. Najee Harris against us. We've had like some good running backs. David Montgomery, who did nothing against us. So it's awesome to see this. I'm so excited. Julian Okora is looking better. Jerry Jacobs is young. Alex Anzalone is young. Amani is young. Okuda is young. Like this team. I saw a tweet. We're the third youngest in the NFL per snaps. You know what I mean? This year. So it's just, I'm so freaking excited. Like our defense is doing all this with the world's worst offense. Like we flipped the script so much. All last year, all I went through every single week, and I think I tried to make it a point every single week last year. I said we're the worst defense to ever set foot in the entire NFL history. History of the NFL, we were the worst defense. We're coming close to being the worst offense of all time in history. Like, I don't know what it is. I'll have to do some research to see like what the points kind of are, where we're at. But we're not good. It's so bad. And our defense looks so good. I love that Levi got his first sack. I would like to see more sacks, more for sure. But leave the sacks to the outside. Inside, just create, run, stopping havoc. And that's all I need from Aleem and Levi. Just create, just like push those gaps. Just fill them right up and let the boys on the outside do their work, especially when we get Kayvon? Either one, whatever one we get, he should be able to get there.
I cannot imagine Aiden Hutchinson in a Lions uniform. I would cry tears of joy. So I just can't imagine that. But listen, you talk about how our historically bad our offense is. You can still see that we actually have a pretty decent rushing attack just based off our strengths on the offensive line with Decker and Sewell and Jackson and Ragnar when he's back, and Swift and Hawkinson, Kabenda, the way everything moves, the way they scheme it, it's effective. And if we had a passing game, any kind of average, middle of the league passing attack, our rushing attack would look even better. And we wouldn't be talking about how bad our offense is because we have 7 wins. It all comes down to our horrible passing attack on offense.
Can we take a quick minute just to like appreciate how bad Matt Patricia really was?
Oh, he was horrible.
You gave him Justin Coleman, the same roster, including a couple other maybe better players, and we had the world. Like he was so bad, and he was thought of as a defensive guru.
Genius, yeah.
Oh, terrible.
Horrible mistake.
Whew. Well, glad the Lions won't be making any of those anytime soon.
But they're talking about Campbell in Lions land. I'm just gonna throw that out there. They're talking about is he horrible too?
Well, see, the main reason why they're talking about him is because the old double timeout situation. So let's talk about that for a minute. Lions get down to it. It's crunch down, like 2 minutes ish, 1 minute 30 left in the game. Lions have just used a timeout. It is 3rd and 9. And team gets set up, and then all of a sudden, Aaron Glenn and Dan Campbell go crazy trying to get a timeout called no matter what. The rules are the refs are told to ignore it, but obviously if you have Aaron Glenn and Dan Campbell like screaming as loud as they can in front of you, you kind of like gotta give them the timeout or they might just kill you. So I respect the ref for actually, giving them the timeouts and not just letting it happen. But Dan Campbell on the 2 timeouts, here's what he said. He said that it came down to it. Half the defense got one play and half the defense got a different play. And they were so off that Dan Campbell was sure it was going to be a touchdown on that play. And the only option was to call timeout. We can't let them score here. We got to stop him. But here's my thought process. The Bears were close enough to score to take the lead. So touchdown, field goal, kind of the same at this point. Points are points. So if he lets them score a touchdown there, at least we get the ball back. Now you're giving them 4 yards instead of 14. I guess 14 or 9, unless they just get the first down and go down at like the goal line, in which they did with that slant route. And so then if you do give them the touchdown, we get the ball back. But Campbell decides, no, we don't want to give them the touchdown. So it shortens it up 3rd and 4. And then what we essentially do is allow them to get this first down. Dan Campbell prevented the touchdown yet again when a field goal won the game. And I did not understand that. He didn't have anyone pressed up against the receivers, and it was one slant route right across the middle. Boom, game over. So, boys, what were some of your, first thoughts on this double timeout situation? And Julius, was this giving you some flashbacks to good old C-Web?
I guess a little bit. Yeah. I mean, it was just, it was like it was one of those Lions moments when you're like, what the H is going on, bro? Like what just happened? What did y'all just do? Why would y'all do that? Why would a team do that? And it's just, you can't explain it. And this is how bad it was. I came away from the game after the game ended. I came away thinking, if that happens again, I'm done with Dan Campbell. I swear to God, because that is unacceptable. That is embarrassing. Like, I was like, what is going on? The game is on the line. Y'all in the game. How do y'all allow this kind of miscommunication to happen at that point with your assistant coach on the sideline? Like, it was just surreal. Like I said, it was one of those Lions moments.
It was so classic Lions.
Classic Lions. It's like that's why I just knew they were going to lose the whole game, because I knew something like that was going to happen. And if it happens again, I'm going to start thinking, Dan Campbell, this is who you are. Because I can't keep seeing these gaps at the end of the game. I mean, if the team playing hard, the defense playing good, okay. I'm excited. I think you got a great personality, Dan Campbell. I think, he's a leader of men, but that lost us the game. And we've done things that's lost us games at the end of other games, and it's a pattern. So, I'm cool right now, but I don't want to see that again. I do not want to see that again. If we lose at the end of the game, let it not be for scheme or planning or execution with the game management. Let it be because we don't have enough talent against the other team.
So there's a lot to digest with this. A lot, right? Like, let's break it down. First and foremost, Dan Campbell's saying that before that play, 6 players were going to go one way and 5 players were going to go the other way. He was sure that they were going to score a touchdown. Rather than them scoring a touchdown, he would rather give them 5 yards and try to hold them on 3rd and 4 rather than on 3rd and 9 just allow them to have a touchdown and try to have Jared Goff make an amazing comeback. Okay. Now that right there, I understand this. Now, my first question to that is, Aaron Glenn, if you're calling defensive plays, and there are teams that do this, especially I believe it's the Packers, maybe it's the Patriots, but they have 2 different guys, a defense coordinator and a linebackers coach, telling both units what to do, and they relay it, and they're all on the same page. So if that got mixed up, and if that's what the Lions do, then okay, I'm okay with this. Just call the double timeout, give them 5 yards. Let's hold them on 3rd and 4. If that's not what the Lions do, and Aaron Glenn is the only one calling plays, how 6 guys knew one thing and 5 guys knew another thing is mind-boggling with this little amount of time to go. That means you did not practice enough. That means you did not do your jobs Monday through Saturday to be ready for this on a Sunday game or game time. Now, this was a Thursday, so a little less practice. Regardless, he had all year. Now, you've called this timeout. You said, okay, sir, we understand that this will give them 5 yards. Please, can we have this timeout? We are okay with that. We huddle up. And if, again, this is Aaron Glenn calling these plays for the second game, he is called a prevent defense. And we saw what the prevent defense did against Baltimore. We saw what the prevent defense did against Minnesota with Adam Thielen. And we've seen this. Now you only have 14 yards or 9 yards, however far it is into the end zone, or maybe 14 yards to the end zone, like 4 yards to the first down, whatever it is. Why would you call a prevent defense to eliminate? Now you're solely scared of the touchdown. You have all your cornerbacks at the end zone preventing a touchdown, but allowing a first down, which ultimately wins the game. That is the worst play call, defensive play call that I've ever seen outside of the Oakland Raiders, whoever it was last year who called an all-out blitz on the Jets, who were 0-13 or whatever at the time, and Sam Darnold throws up a Hail Mary, they catch it, they win their first game of the year, and Greg Allen, I think, or whoever it was for the Raiders, gets fired immediately, and he's embarrassing, like the worst play call of all time. Why do you call prevent? Now, you have been beaten twice. Aaron Glenn or whoever, Dan Campbell, whoever is making this call. And that's why I'm not going to associate any blame to anyone, because I don't know where the blame falls, because I'm not down there on the sidelines. As much improvement I think I could add to the team, they haven't allowed me to go down there on the bench yet. So I sit there and I say, if this is Aaron Glenn, and if he called this prevent defense after a dual timeout, 5-yard costing timeout, and this was your game plan, this was like, okay. Or if you thought it was still 3rd and 9 and you didn't register that calling 2 timeouts was going to give them 5 yards, like all of this just lays on whoever that is, whether it's Aaron Glenn or Dan Campbell. And I think it's Aaron Glenn. And I think he's done a phenomenal job all year. But this is rookie mistakes, which we knew we were going to get from this rookie staff, which reminds us, how long ago was it, Adam? Jim Schwartz. We have seen this before. During Thanksgiving, challenging a non-challengeable play, and it's ultimately a penalty that costs us the game. Same with this. This is another SOL moment, but I'm not firing Campbell over it. I'm not firing Glenn over it. I'm not firing Lynn over it. I'm not firing anyone over it. I am firing Goff over this timeout. I think Goff should probably leave the team because of this timeout, or whatever reason we want to give it. Goff needs to be off the team. This will happen. We have to learn from it, as Julius alluded to. If you don't learn from it, and if I see this again, I'll be so sad. But wait, can I finish with one last thing? Do we remember in the 3rd preseason game this year, or the 2nd preseason game, we had a chance with like 20 seconds to go to call a timeout and continue like a drive that was momentum. But instead, Dan Campbell said, nope, it's the 2nd preseason, just wash it. Let's go to the locker room. We lose the preseason game. And I said on that podcast, that very week, I said, if we start to see game what's the word I'm looking for? Game fucking changing, boneheaded plays, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Then we need to really think about Dan Campbell being this coach. He's funny. He's great. He's a good dude. He's a great player coach. But if he's going to make mistake after mistake, week after week, we got to blame someone. Right now, Goff gets my blame.
What I would love to do is like go out and get like a genius like assistant head coach, in which we kind of saw, bring up Michigan again, ironically, Juwan Howard do this his first year when he came to Michigan. He was a new head coach, had never been a head coach ever, but he surrounded himself with all the guys he wanted, all well-experienced coaches, and you saw what Michigan did, lead 8 runs. So Dan Campbell kind of did that. He brought in Anthony Lynn, who was just a head coach, and that's been going okay. Did take the play calling away. But Aaron Glenn, I think he is on a bit of an island, and Dan Campbell is his crutch. And they're both rookies right now. They're 2 guys that, I don't know if that's going to work. Maybe it will. And neither of them have really had any experience. So I think we are going to see at least one, maybe not this boneheaded, but we're going to see at least 1 to 2 more little like rookie coaching mistakes out of these guys. Maybe not so much Anthony Lynn, but I guess
want to bring up something. Like, would anyone be super upset if we did fire Dan Campbell this year and like had Deuce Staley take over head coach, kept Aaron Glenn, kept Anthony Lynn, got a new quarterback? Or are we all like, no, Campbell is the motivator. He is the heart behind this team. Like, he has to be here. We will win with him.
Right now, I'm good with Campbell. Like, I don't want him to get fired this year. I want to see what he can do with another season. But if he was to continue to, like, this end of the game stuff, if it keeps happening, this SOL stuff, how many games we got left? Like 6?
we have
Yes.
6 games left.
Yeah.
If that happens 1, 2, more times, 3 more times in that section of games. And then Brad Holmes is like, look, I didn't even hire this guy. Let me fire him. I got a better idea. Promote Deuce Staley, go out and get your guy, whatever it is. If that kind of stuff is keep happening with Dan Campbell, then I would, I would understand. But at this point in time, I expect Dan Campbell. I think he's smarter than what people give him credit for, and he's learning on a job with this how bumpy it is with the roster he inherited from Matt Patricia. I don't think he's doing that bad of a job overall. It's just like a couple of the end of the game stuff. I just don't want to see it keep happening. But I'm good with him going into next year right now.
Yeah, it's a sticky situation, I think. I think there's a lot of ins and outs that you could make for him being here next year, him not being next year. And honestly, the biggest for Campbell stick around is the fact that we've had 6 games that have come from a one-score loss or a tie in which the Steelers. So if we get, not saying we're going to get all 6 of those going our way, but if we get, 3, 4 of those to go our way and then have a decent season on top of that, that's huge. So I think
he needs a win, man.
Yeah.
If
really
and bucks were candy and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas.
Yeah. Tell me, that's all he needs is a win.
So
if he has one win would do so much for Dan Campbell going into next year. Just one.
Give you guys a scenario. Lions don't win a game, and we finished with 3 more games within a 7-point score, losing by 7 or less. Is Campbell still fireable, or for sure fired, probably fired, or I think we keep him?
We'll keep him no matter what. Though I will argue quite a lot throughout the offseason why we might not want him.
I think we keep him too. I mean, unless he just go SOL for the last all 6 games or something crazy, like, oh my God, did you see what Dan Campbell did this week? If it gets to that point in week 16, week 17, 0-16-1, deuces.
We just need that exact Ravens game without the 66 game winner.
That was the win. That was the win.
Ravens, great football team. Lions played with them all game. Granted, we weren't really beating them or losing the whole game, but we had the lead the fourth, and it was looking good. Ravens are looking like a Super Bowl contender right now. Maybe not after last night, even though they won, but still. It shows we can hang. I know we have a decently tough schedule with the Vikings, which at home, I know the Vikings have just whooped our ass the last 20
years. We are not beating the Vikings.
I don't think we do, even without Dalvin Cook. But I will say it wouldn't shock me. I really think the Broncos and the Falcons are the only 2, and it sucks because both of those teams have been doing a little bit better and are kind of starting to become wild card in the hunt type teams. And when you get like that, teams try to win.
The Lions can win a game. Let me just tell you this. They just don't need no damn miracle 66-yard field goals off the post going in. They don't need no damn kicker kicking a noodle kick in the rain in Pittsburgh in overtime. That my grandma probably could have kicked better. And they could win a game. Don't let those stupid things happen. It's possible. I believe in you, Dan Campbell.
Just score 20 points. We'd already have wins. We'd be in the playoffs.
3 touchdowns.
I want to have a follow-up question on something we were just talking about. We were just talking about this. Follow-up question. Dan Campbell, we go to the Lions. We go 0-16-1 this year, right? We keep Dan Campbell. He's our guy. We lose every game next year. Not 0-17, but I'm saying so every game by within 1 score, but we're losing. How many games in a row until you say, oops, Campbell's got to go? So we went 1-16 and we lose game 1 by 5, game 2 by 4, by game 3 by 7.
Right there. Right there. Game 3. Game 3.
So you got 3. He's got 3 weeks.
If I see 3,
everyone's mind next week.
I see 3 2021 L's in 2022, that's it for me. Promote Deuce Staley. Promote Eric Glenn. That is it for me.
Ah, man.
We just need the offense next season.
But what if we don't have one? What if we have a rookie quarterback that isn't good and we go with Goff and we sit this rookie quarterback? So
No,
do we give Campbell a whole other season because it's Goff again?
It don't matter. This is what needs to happen. We need to we need to have, whether it's in the draft, first overall, 20th overall, second round, we need to draft a quarterback that's better than Jared Goff. We can do that. I believe that's possible.
It'd be very easy. We can do that in the second round, I'm pretty sure.
Our cap space to add 2 weapons for this new quarterback. And draft picks as well. If you want to draft a stud receiver somewhere in there, add that too. But I still want Aiden Hutchinson number 1 overall. I'm just going to throw that in there.
Yeah,
I like the Kayvon and Penei Sewell matchup.
It's a good debate right now. I think we're going to get into it, right, Adam?
We either get the Michigan man coming home or we get the Oregon boys teaming up against each other.
We're going to talk about it a lot, I'm sure.
Yeah, it might not be this week, but
boys, we get them both. How crazy would that be?
That'd be insane. I can't even think of dreaming like that.
I would probably get a Brad Holmes tattoo if that happened.
So what? We'd have to trade our first round, our backup first round, and then one of our first rounds next year, and probably our second round to get up to maybe even our third round.
There's ways we can do it.
Hey,
if the Rams bomb the second half of this season,
that is possible. Yes, Rams bomb, but maybe not Hutchinson, but Ojabo at like.
I take him too. 15. He's a stud.
He's too raw for me.
I take him in the back half of the first round. I take Ojabo.
He's so raw. I was just listening to an interview. He was like, "Yo, why did they spike it?" I was like, "What?"
Those are the guys you
like,
love.
I'm still learning the game.
You can tell he just learning the game. You could tell. It's almost Ziggy Ansah-ish, but even Ziggy had a little more at BYU.
Exactly. But I get what we're saying. It'll be fun. We have a lot to talk about this offseason.
The draft's going to be fun. We're getting some mocks.
Oh, yeah, we will be doing a lot of mocks. That'll be coming here soon. So, listeners, stay tuned for the mocks. We've already posted a few, so keep your eyes out for all those. But before we get out of here, let's quick touch in on the Vikings game. It's a 7-point spread for the Lions. We are heading back home for another homestand against Minnesota. They aren't going to have Dalvin Cook, so I guess that's good for us. Our last game we played the Vikings, it was the Greg Joseph field goal, in which the Lions looked pretty good, though. I should say the whole game. It was more or less the second half. The first half wasn't the best, but the Lions, we just kind of made it happen. And yet again, we let a 50-yard career-long field goal beat us. So now we are home, boys. Do you think that 7 points is too high? Do you think the Lions get the win? Nick, what's the game score for you?
Well, the Lions are 3-0 against the spread in the last 3 games.
Yeah,
the Lions beat the spread against the Vikings, which was 10 last time they played the Vikings in Minnesota. Obviously, like you said, it was 19-17, so we won the spread there. I'm going to continue with the spread winning streak. I think Dan Campbell is so hungry for a win that he is literally going to will this team to a win himself. I do not think it happens against Minnesota. I do think we do get one win against Atlanta this year. But to stay on point, I think the Lions will keep this close. I think our defense comes out to play. Kirk Cousins is embarrassed from last week. No Cook. You got Madison. I'm going to go Thielen having a big day, not Jefferson, opposite of last time we played him. And I'm also going to go Vikings 22, Lions 17.
You want to hear something hilarious, Nick? So ironically, the last time we played the Vikings, we shouldn't be getting excited about this Dalvin Cook news, because last time we played the Vikings, Dalvin Cook didn't play. So not going to make a whole lot of difference.
Well, how did Madison do?
He did pretty good.
25 for 113 with a long of 48.
Yes, he did pretty good.
Actually, honestly, if you take away that 48-yard run, it's a decent game, yards. But it's not as special as it looks.
Our defense did not break in that game against the Vikings in the first time. They showed some pass rush. They showed some good coverage. Even though Madison, ate at him, he had a big run. That's still possible in this upcoming game. But I expect the Lions defense to compete. and I expect our offense to crumble. We don't have DeAndre Swift. I look forward to seeing Justin Jefferson and Godwin back there, seeing what they can do, see the offensive line, because Minnesota is susceptible to giving up. DeAndre Swift had a great game against them. That was one of the reasons we were in that game against them in week 5. So we'll see. But I'm just going to go ahead and say Vikings 20, Lions 17. We lose another close one, same kind of thing. We might even lose on the last second field goal again at Ford Field this time instead of Bank of America place.
Hey, but Ford Field, them field goal posts are hard to kick on, as we know.
Except for Justin Tucker, who got magic in his leg and just somehow get it off the post 66 yards in.
That's besides that, I guess. There was a year, I think it was a couple of years ago, where I swear every kicker was just donging it off the goal post.
Mason
Crosby's like missed 5.
He's still doing that.
Robbie Gold with Chicago, he popped it off the post. I think even Minnesota's kicker, like there is something in Ford Field post, but yeah, the Vikings, they're beatable, but I don't expect our offense to hold.
Hope so, but probably not.
Yeah, and for me, I think it's going to be a low-scoring one too. But I'm just going to say we're going to win until we do get a win. So I'm going to go 21-17. I think the Lions get 3 touchdowns. Goff puts up 20 points, and we win the game. Actually, we can change it 21-16. I think we're going to hold the Vikings to some field goals like we did last time. I think we're going to see a tight scoring, a lot of field goal type game, and hopefully, actually, no, I don't know what I was getting to, but I think that should do it, boys.
Did you say the Lions are going to score 21 points? When was the last time we scored more than 20 points?
Hold on. It was like, I don't even know. It was so long.
Way back in the day.
It was week 1, bro.
Was
it was really week 1.
We went on that fourth quarter.
19 points in a game since week 1.
How many points did we score in the fourth quarter of that game?
A lot. I don't remember.
28?
Game. I was pretty drunk. I don't remember.
That is crazy.
The Lions. What are we doing?
Nonetheless, that is our show for tonight. Be prepared for some mocks and some draft discussions coming on the next couple weeks. But as always, you can check us out at the Honolulu Blues Show _. And then you can check out me on Twitter at EverydayFFB. Check out Julius on Twitter at the Fifth Top. And check out Nick on Twitter at Nick Faber NFL. Boys. We will go blue. I love the Nick. Get a little go blue outro here.
Hey, hail to
the victors.
Hey, beat Iowa. Beat Iowa, please.
Yeah, beat Iowa. Just stop Iowa.
I want to come back happy. Beat Iowa. Go blue.
Congratulations, go Michigan. First time in Indy, right? First time with Jim Harbaugh.
First time in Indy.
First time in Indy. That's what it is, man.
Yep.
I know. I couldn't believe seeing all that. I was like, "Is this what? Is this really their first? Like, this can't be." But they didn't have the Big Ten championship games like 20 years ago.
I'm hoping you guys win it all, so I can be like, "Yeah, at least we beat the team that won it all."
That is true. That is true.
Go green.
Yeah, Michigan State. Honestly, the better Michigan does, they should be looking good for a New Year's Six bowl.
Heyo.
Go blue. Have a good day, guys.
Go Honolulu Blues and
go win.